So, the four quadrants of astrology, and what do they really mean in, in terms of your own birth chart, and how important is it that you look at the quadrants? It's actually quite important. But first of all, what are quadrants? Well, quadrant really means is that a cluster of planets in your horoscope are situated in certain houses. Because sometimes people have 3 planets in 4th house, might have 2 planets in the 5th house, and then another 2 planets in the 3rd house. So what's happening, cluster of planets are situated very tightly together. And so there are 4 quadrants. These are their quadrants in a horoscope, in a birth chart, that divides the horoscope into 4 parts. So if there's one cluster known as one quadrant, is a section where one cluster is identified, then the second is identified. So I'm going to show you a birth chart. Take a look at this. This is a basic Vedic astrology birth chart. It's the easiest chart you will ever come to see, because those sections that you see, there are 12 sections in this chart, just like 12 zodiac signs. Okay, so if there are 12 zodiac signs, there are going to be 12 houses, and each house is representation of a certain part of your life, certain area of your life. Like 10th house is your career, 2nd house is your family, 5th house is your children and your education, 9th house is your higher education and your long distance journey, 3rd house is your siblings and your neighbors, your aunts and uncles, your 7th house is your marriage. So you see how you can then see and judge a horoscope based on these houses and what planet are placed in there. So in a astrological birth chart, the first quadrant, is occupied by the sections of the 12th, 1st, and 2nd house. So the 12th house, 1st house, and the 2nd house, the cluster in these 3 houses is known as Quadrant One. This is the self quadrant, meaning this person is going to be very self-absorbed and very much about themselves. Then the second quadrant is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th house. Okay, these houses are known as quadrants of family, meaning that this person is going to be very much about the affairs of the family, of aunts, uncles, mom, dad, children, wife, and they're going to be, all about enjoying that home part of life. Then another quadrant is the 3rd quadrant, which is the 6th, 7th, and 8th house. This is known as the quadrant of other people, okay? But mainly it represents codependency on the other people. Meaning you're dependent on these certain people, like your marriage partner, 7th house, your co-worker in the 6th house, your wife's family in the 8th house. So if you have planets situated here, you're really about the other people. You're not really about yourself or your family. You're just about the other people that you come in contact with on your everyday life, other than your family. Then the 4th quadrant is the professional quadrant, the quadrant of 9th, 10th, and 11th house. These houses show a person who's all about the professional life, networking, traveling, making, friends in the professional world, all about the outer life. They love the inner life, the home life, but they're all about, they'll even rather have their coworkers and their professional friends come to their home and mingle and party. So these are the 4 quadrants. So why are they important? So if you're looking at your own horoscope per se, and even if you study this or you study your boyfriend or girlfriend's chart, and you see that they have a lot of cluster of planets situated in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th house. So you can see that this person is all about having fun with family, hanging out with family, even traveling with family. They're always concerned about the family affairs more so than the professional affairs, okay? If a person has a cluster of planets in the 12th, 1st, and the 2nd house, then this person is all about self-gain. They're really kind of selfish. They really want to achieve things and make things happen for themselves. They do care for others, but their care will only come if it's benefiting them, if it's fulfilling their own needs, for them to care for something else. If you want to see if this person or your boyfriend or girlfriend, is a very outgoing person, or, are they very all about that extroverted personality more than introverted personality, then if they have most of the planets situated in the 9th, 10th, and 11th house, then you can see, okay, this person is all about the professional career. They're all about concerning with the professional life, the outer life. They're all about planning parties, going to this function, going to that fundraiser, going to this company meeting, going to that conference, all about progressing themselves in a professional life. And then if you have a person who has planets in the 6th, 7th, and 8th house, majority of them clustered up in there, they're all about wanting to do things with the other people. They're all about, not taking that first step in their life, but taking it with another person. It could be, like how a wife or a husband is very codependent on the other person. Like, you know what, I want to do this, but let's do it together. Okay, I want to go here, let's do it together. I want to get a house, let's do this together. They're not about, okay, let me just do this, bam, I want to do it. But they're all about, wanting to get advices of other people. They're all about giving a service to the other people, thinking that they were going to get something bad, which is dependency. So that's what happens with this. But let's say what happens if you have cluster of planets in the 2nd and 3rd house and 4th house. Then again, it means about the family ties. The family, because 2nd house is, even though it's in a quadrant of self and self-improvement, but it's also in the house of family. So if you have a cluster of planets in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th house, then that they just love being in home. They're more of a homebody than going outside. So some people are homebodies. They love being home. They're home is their sanctuary. Whereas some other people just can't really feel comfortable at home. They always want to go out, always want to be out there, out and about. That's how you judge things. And this can also help in judging a marriage horoscope, which I kind of forgot to mention, but you can, take that advice from this segment of the video, is that you can judge how a husband and wife is going to be. Are they going to be more about professional life or a home life? So you can judge that wherever a cluster of the planets are, including the sun. So whenever you are looking at two horoscopes of a man and a woman, and the guy wants a girl who's more about taking care of the kids, more about the family, she's more, about how the family stuff is going to be more than the professional life, then the guy should to see if a girl has cluster of planets in either the first or the second quadrant, or even the third quadrant, but more so the second quadrant. So you want to see where the cluster of planets are situated. Is it in the family houses or the professional houses? And there's nothing wrong with that for a girl to have her professional planets out there. Maybe she just wants to be out there. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just all about personal preferences. So if a girl wants a guy who's more concerned with the family than the professional life, look for a guy who has cluster of planets in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th house. Because 5th house is of children, 4th house is of home, 3rd house is family, aunts and uncles, 2nd house is actual family environment. So if the planets are there, their affairs, most of their concentration is going to be in that part of the area. And so this is how you judge the quadrants, and this is where they become important, that even if you don't look at anything else, but as soon as you see a chart and you see a cluster of planets just situated there, you know what this person's main concerns are and what their, where their soul lies. Because sun placement is also seen, because look, there's a saying that home is where the heart is. Okay, and heart is represented by the sun. So wherever sun is also placed, that also shows a lot as to where exactly your main focus is. Not your mind, not your, how you relate to people, but this is about where does your soul really wants to be at any given moment. So if your sun is in the 10th house, you're more about being concerned with the work. Your soul is about, being in the professional life. Where if sun is in the 4th house, it's going to be more about home environment, having home business, not wanting to leave home. So that's how you see it. And then if the cluster planets are spread out evenly, then this person is quite balanced in their life. But the placement of the sun will actually kind of shift the balance to exactly how much are they going to give importance to home versus professional, themselves or the other person. So, okay guys, so hope this helped with the quadrants of astrology. If you're new to my channel, hey, subscribe up, because I'm going to make more of this fun stuff, knowledge to know more about you and yourself, and then more than anything else. And if you want to know more about this, quadrants and everything else about astrology, check out my link there. Check out my book, Astrology: The Speed of Light. Otherwise, shalom.